homemade vanilla meringue cookies. So good.
Hey, it's Aunt Fanny, and today I was thinking I wanted to make some vanilla meringue cookies. I love buying them at Trader Joe's, one of my favorite treats from there, but they're so much better when you make them homemade. If you've never had a vanilla meringue cookie, it's like eating a crispy cloud. It's amazing. I have a wonderful friend that makes them, and they're so good. So I borrowed her recipe, and we're gonna make them today. Oh, there's just a few things that we're gonna use to make them, and that is going to be some large egg whites at room temperature. We're also gonna use a vanilla bean, and we're gonna cut it open and take the caviar out from the inside of that, or you could swap that for vanilla bean paste. Also, we're gonna use a little bit of cream of tartar, about a 1/4 teaspoon, and 3/4 cup of sugar. There's a couple tools that we're going to use today. One of them is my little bag holder for when we put the meringue into the piping bag. And then I just got this. It's just a little piping bag cupcake decorator set. And I'm going to use the star tip with some bags to try to get that meringue piped into pretty little cookies. We're going to start off with double checking our eggs. We do have farm fresh eggs, and so I just want to make sure that they are fresh. So I'm just going to drop them into a bowl of room temperature water and just make sure that they sink before I use these, because I'm using just the whites. I want to make sure that my eggs are very fresh. I'm going to gently put these eggs into the water, and I just want to make sure that when they get in there that they lay flat, that they don't try to stand up on one end or the other, and they definitely do not float. If they float, I don't want to use those. So
We're going to start by preheating the oven to 200 degrees. And then I'm going to get all my supplies ready, because that's the way I like to do it, get everything out ahead of time. So I have my blender, my bag holder, my eggs, vanilla, sugar, cream of tartar. I got some vanilla paste out also in a piping bag. So let's crack those 3 eggs and just use the whites. We're going to throw away the yolk. So I'm just separating here using the shell. There's lots of gadgets out there that can help you separate the whites from the yolks. I just use the shell myself. I'm just going to go ahead and throw those away. And then we're going to pour those egg whites into the mixer. I separate them into a dish just to ensure if I happen to get any egg yolk, I have the ability to pick it out before I actually put it into the mixer. So here I'm going to pull out a vanilla bean. They can tend to run a little bit high, so some people might want to use a vanilla bean paste or vanilla extract, and there's conversions on the internet. I believe it was like a 2-to-1, 1 vanilla bean to 2 tablespoons, I believe it was, of the paste. Here I'm just using a bean, so I'm just going to slice it open, and they call the stuff on the inside, I guess, caviar, but you just kind of pull out all the little soft beads on the inside that gives you that vanilla flavor. And I'm going to add that to the mixing bowl, and I'm just going to scrape it out really good and make sure I get all those little bits and pieces and flavors out of there. The vanilla bean in, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and I'm just going to level that off with the back of a knife to make sure it's a nice even measurement. After adding the cream of tartar, I'm going to turn the mixer on medium-high speed, and I'm going to let it blend for about 2 minutes. And what I'm looking for is for it to get really frothy and to have good peaks, soft peaks. So when I lift up my blender and pull the whisk out, that it's going to leave like a little peak there. And that means that we are ready to add the sugar. But the sugar needs to be added very slowly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a tablespoon and I'm going to pour it in to the egg whites, and then I'm going to wait about 15 seconds in between my next scoop. And that's how I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar, is just 1 scoop at a time, waiting a good 15 seconds in between, because I don't want to deflate the egg whites. I want them to stay nice and frothy and fluffy. With that final ingredient all mixed in, I'm going to let it blend on medium for about 5 minutes. So what we want here is for it to mix long enough to where it gets nice and glossy and very stiff peaks and holds its form. They don't fall when you lift them up. You see how that is just still keeping its shape. So that's exactly what I want. And it's actually kind of like a marshmallow fluff at this point. It's sticky and it's ooey and it's gooey. So I'm going to fill up my piping bag. I overfilled it, to be honest. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put these little cookies, pipe them on there about an inch apart. And I think the trick is to make kind of a larger circle like a donut where there's an empty space in the middle, and then bring the center in and have it kind of rest on the top. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to pop them in the oven. We're going to bake them at 200 degrees for about 1 hour. And then after that hour, I'm going to shut the oven off, but leave them in there an additional 45 minutes and let them fully cook. Oh my gosh, these things turned out so beautiful. They fully cooked through. They were gone by the end of the night. They're absolutely delicious. The only thing I would do differently is double the batch. They were amazing. Make sure you keep them in an airtight container because they need to stay really dry and can't be in a moist environment. Here's the difference between my homemade meringue cookies and a Trader Joe's cookie. Mine are more gooey and chewy, whereas the Trader Joe's are crisp and crunchy. They're both excellent, but I must say I do very much prefer the homemade version to the Trader Joe's. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and follow to help this channel continue to grow. And you can't beat reviews like these.
They're so gooey. No, 10 out of 10.